Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off a pretty cool build that lets you, with just one card, pull off a lockdown, and you're going to be getting double boss monsters out of it, and you can still protect one of your boss monsters, even though the boss monster already basically protects itself. Both of them, in fact, protect themselves, but nonetheless, just in case anything goes wrong, you still have extra protection over here. So the card that you actually need to pull this off can actually be technically two cards. It can actually be Sangan, or you can have your Tourguide. There's multiple ways to basically pull it off with this deck variant to end up with pretty much the same board, which is to try to go ahead and have access to not only keeping in the Paladin of the Sacred Tree, aka Borea over here, which makes it so if a Crusader monster would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can banish it instead. In addition to that, you also happen to lock your opponent out of special summoning, period. You also happen to have the Dragon of Red Eyes, which is an automatic negate, but with the addition of the Verde Plant Anaconda plus the IP Masquerena here, we're going to be able to pull off a Avermax during our opponent's turn, or you can technically go for other things, but this is kind of the card that he opted to go ahead and make in this particular play. But I wanted to mention that this, just as a heads up, is a OCG deck at the moment, well, for multiple reasons. One, we don't actually have some of these cards, but two, it does utilize some cards that are actually on the ban list. I'm talking about one of the best side deck cards in the game that didn't releaser of Rituals, but obviously with the new Master Rule coming around, who knows what they'll add back into the TCG. I don't think this card should ever come back, but you know, they've done crazier things like Snatch Steal, right? But anyways, I'm going to show off a few different replays. Again, this is an OCG deck, so you will see Maxi here. Not that Maxi is required at all for part of the combo, and I will show you guys a variant where he doesn't open up with Tourguide. It's just, Tourguide is going to be the most optimal to go ahead and play with, and wouldn't even see activation of Deshrudo or Instant Fusion. So again, you can still definitely pull this off multiple different ways with this deck variant. And in fact, if you wanted to, instead of having Masquerena, you could have an additional negate with a Herald of Arclight, which could arguably against certain decks be better, because even if you just lock them out of special summoning, you basically won a lot of duels. There's very few Yu-Gi-Oh decks that will never special summon. He just decided, I think without special summoning, it's GG. Again, you'll end up with a play of your opponent is locked out of special summon, so you have a lockdown, plus again, you're going to have Dragon of Red Eyes and the Avermax over here, so you have double boss monsters, and this protects itself, and Avermax obviously protects itself, plus again, you have the Arborea to go ahead and protect yourself even further over here. But like I said, there's a few different plays over here that I want to go ahead and show off versus a few different decks over here. But again, Tourguide allows easy access to making a game, so you Tourguide into Sangan, and what you're actually going to be searching out is going to be the Paladin of the Sacred Tree over here. And this card, even though it has the effect via Sangan kind of nerfed over here, where you can't activate their effects, so it doesn't matter, this is just a condition that you can just go ahead and you can special summon this card in a defense position to a zone that it just points to, so you're just getting that special summon requirement over there. And once again, bread and butter play, go ahead and activate this, and pretty much go ahead and give your opponent that handshake where you're able to go ahead and just say GG. So he's going to go ahead and activate that effect, even though adding the polymerization is probably not going to be too useful, considering you cannot special summon anyways, but it's just to show you guys you can make a game very, very easy. Now, I did promise you guys would show off a variant without opening up with Tourguide, because all you really need to do is get that effect of Sangan, and you'll pretty much be good to go. You can just go into the Al Mirage over here, and then with Link Cross, go ahead and activate that effect, go get those tokens, and then with the O-Line as well as the Metal Marcher, you're going to be able to get those effects and get some additional tokens out. Then we got the Arclight. Arclight's going to go proc its effect. Then Shooting Riser Dragon's going to go ahead and send Fairy Tale Snow to the grave. Then we go ahead and make the Churro Beanie, and this has the effect to send a level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard. And guess what is level 3? You already know, it's that Jin. So again, there's the alternate way to go ahead and pull that out. With again, Sangan or Tourguide enables this combo to be played with just a simple one card. And you know what I love is I love seeing Sangan see played, because it is one of the more usable cards saw play throughout most of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. A lot of decks played back in the day. Everyone played Gores, Sangan, Spirit Reaper. These were all really great cards that just worked well in almost every deck. But Sangan, once it got its errata and they got it changed so you can't activate cards or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of the turn, most people just kind of phase it out. But like I said, with the ability of the Paladin, you could just go ahead and just summon it, no problem, and then go ahead and start proccing all those effects. Plus, again, you have that additional way to protect yourself, and he's going to get Mirror Force, but obviously that's not going to go through. Max C not going to be doing any good against my opponent. My opponent is literally not going to be able to Yugioh because, well, there is no special summoning. So pretty much, again, most decks just fold at this point because you've locked him out. So yeah, again, basically what it comes down to is a one-card lockdown. Look at the disrespect, bringing back our boy Dark Magician, and with no monsters left on the field, this guy is one of the best cards in the game, that's for sure. But anyways, now that you guys have seen it in action, I want to give you guys the deck profile just in case any of you guys do want to play it. Again, it is an OCG deck, but you can pretty much still play most of it. It would really come down to not being able to Jin lock, but because of that, obviously you can go ahead and lock your opponent out. Other ways, the alternative way, if you wanted to go ahead and do so, would be to go ahead and make a different card, and that different card would be a little bit different in the TCG here, which would be the Necros. Necros are still pretty good though. At the end of the day, you only have one Unicorn, but with Unicorn's effect, you get to negate the effects of face-up monsters on the field that were special summoned from the extra deck, which would technically still stop a lot of different decks, but obviously it's not as good because it definitely does disrupt your own stuff, so I would kind of watch out for it. But I mean, there really isn't a replacement for locking your opponent out of special summoning for the most part, so it's just kind of the go-to card. But nonetheless, this also has the effect where, where is it? You get to discard and add any Necros spell and trap. So I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just go ahead and have that card, then go for another Necros card if you wanted to. There are other options, but again, the whole point was really just to show off the usage of it in the OCG. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile so you guys can go ahead and play it if you want to. And I know it's been a while since I uploaded any OCG deck profiles because I do like to cover the OCG because their play styles are a little bit different here. But anyways, here is the deck build for the one card lockdown plus double bosses, which is really cool. But anyways, obviously we're gonna have to run the two vanillas here for our Red Eyes Fusion for the Predaplant combo, and then we got Destrudo, we got the Fairy's Hell Snow, Armageddon Knight, and of course the card that makes everything possible, the Djinn, or Releaser of Rituals. We got 2 copies of Tourguide. Even in the TCG, you can basically have access to this again, as you just don't have access to this thing over here. But it is also a Fiend that is level 3, so think about it, you can also just go ahead and go straight into this. Again, if you are playing in the OCG. But then we got 3 copies of Sangan, which again sorts out this card, which just gives you free special summon abilities. And then we have 2 copies of the Psychic Wielder over here. So if you control a level 3 monster other than itself, you can just special summon. It's just another card that you can just easy access, go Needle Fiber. And then we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom because in the OCG it is currently at 2. And then next up, we have 3 copies of O-Line, just in case you happen to have one. You could just have extra resources. And then we have 3 copies of Max C. But again, this is not really required for the deck, but obviously, if Max C's at 3, why wouldn't you want to play 3 copies of it, right? And then we got Valor, we've got the Call of Solace, we got 3 copies of Instant Fusion. You can go ahead and disrupt the Inspector border plays, as well as just being able to bring out, I really like Millennium Eyes Restrict. I think it's still a fantastic card, but it's usually used for Thesis. A lot of people will bring this out just to go ahead and make a quick Needle Fiber. In case anything gets negated, you do definitely have access to stopping some of your opponent's plays. Or if your opponent tries to stop your plays, you can still kind of stop them from being able to stop you in your tracks, if that kind of makes sense. But next up, we got Reinforcement of the Army, and then we've got the Foolish Burial over here, and then we've got Monster Reborn, we've got the OCG artwork, the Necro Cycle, the Called by the Grave at triple, and triple copies of Cross the Designator, because it's a very lockdown-oriented deck. In any lockdown deck, you definitely want to get your combos off. And then we have Emergency Teleport, and that will allow you to also go ahead and play around basically 1 to 2 hand traps is, I would say, definitely something that you can do. 3 really might be pushing it in this deck. And then, of course, we got the impermanence for, of course, your Crossout Designator. For the extra deck, we got the Dragon of Red Eyes, the Sea Monster of Thesis, we got Thousand Eyes Restrict Shooting Riser Dragon, we got the Herald of Arc Light. Like I said, you can still leave this card up on the board if you want to have an extra negation of anything versus to go for the Avermax play. And then We've got the Tin Musical Battle Mech over here. Let's see, again, it just helps out with all the abilities to bring back some of the cards, get out those extra tokens and stuff. And then we've got the Avermax, we've got Unicorn, Needle Fiber, or Highly Fabrex, as it's called in the TCG, and then an IP Masquerena, and then Cherubini to go ahead and foolish the card. And then we've got the Predapen Verde Anaconda, and then we've got Link Spider, and then Link Cross, which gives you those extra tokens, and Ala Mirage, again, which is really important for the combo. If you don't open up Tourguide or Sangan become a one-card combo to go ahead and initiate this play of locking your opponent down with a double boss monsters follow-up. For the side deck over here, we've got extra impermanences, super polys. This is, again, OCG, so Feather Duster is still really great. And obviously, with the super poly, you need good targets, and this would be an excellent one. And then with your Psyframe Gear Gamma over here, you have access to negating extra stuff with, of course, your driver. And then we've got the Santa Claus with 2 copies of Pangotrops. On the OCG, it's still at 2, while the TCG, unfortunately, only got 1. Then we got the Winged Dragon Raw Sphere Mode and Nibiru, and like I said, the Psyframe driver. But anyways, that's it for the deck profile. And I got to give a big shout out to Liperock for hooking me up with this deck profile as well as the gameplay. And I'll link him down below if you guys want to check him out. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss out. I know it's been a while since I covered some OCG stuff, but I know some of you guys do follow me and you are in the OCG area, so you guys like to check out new builds as well. And keep in mind that the new ban list, even though we just got one, you never know because the new master rule, and who knows when we're getting some of these cards over here. But once we get some of them, I think that maybe the ban list will be changing by then, and maybe this card will come off. Not saying it should or will, but let me know how you guys feel about Jin Releaser of Rituals down below. Do you guys think it should come back? I definitely do not think it should come back. But anyways, if you guys want to send me any replays, just like my boy Liperock, once again, thanks, man. Feel free to send in to azneyesreplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.